you're guaranteeing that it's going into the bloodstream. Plus, we like to inject the BPC-157 locally. So if you have, let's say you have a shoulder injury and you put it in your shoulder, while it eventually it will go into the bloodstream, you're having a higher concentration in this area initially, so you tend to get a little bit of a localized effect. I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
If my source for primobolan is questionable, sketchy at best, and to not risk injecting testosterone or some other compound, can a female bodybuilder use Masteron instead? If so, would the dosage be equivalent to that of primobolan?
Okay, first of all, primobolan is not equivalent to Masteron. Masteron is a lot stronger. It's a lot more potent. It has more androgenic side effects for women. I wouldn't suggest that they're comparable to each other. As a matter of fact, probably 200 milligrams of Masteron is, I would say, 3 times stronger than 200 milligrams of primobolan per week. So if you're a woman, as far as I'm concerned, the only safe compound is really Anavar, which you'll get no side effects from. Then the next group of like potentially safe compounds that are, relatively safe, but some people can have some problems with them, would be your primobolan and Winstrol. Winstrol tends to have a little less side effects than primobolan because primobolan is long acting. Unless you're using the primo acetate tabs, which we talked about last week on Ask Dave, those don't stay in the system that long. But those 3 compounds are the only thing really, if I'm a woman, that I would ever consider using. Once you start going to Masteron or even a little DECA, there are side effects that can start occurring, facial hair growth, deepening of the voice, and among other ones, acne and stuff like that. So I would be very cautious if I was a woman at using those other ones, because remember, these side effects are cumulative, meaning that maybe at first you might not notice them, but they're accumulating. You just don't know they're there until it's too late, and then you can't reverse it. So be very cautious. If you can't get primobolan, use Winstrol. If you can't get Winstrol, use Anavar. There's a lot of choices out there, and I know there's a lot of a lot of these rejuvenation clinics sometimes will prescribe these drugs too, especially the Winstrol and the Anavar. So I highly recommend not using Masteron unless you're at that level where you're a female bodybuilder, you don't care, and you've used it before. But if you're in like a bikini, if you're in figure, I wouldn't mess with that.
Is there a big difference between injectable BPC-157 and the oral form? Which one is better?
Anytime you have to inject, I would say that the injectable form is superior because you're guaranteeing that it's going into the bloodstream. Plus, we like to inject the BPC-157 locally. So if you have, let's say you have a shoulder injury and you put it in your shoulder, while it eventually it will go into the bloodstream, you're having a higher concentration in this area initially, so you tend to get a little bit of a localized effect from it. So I think the injection form is going to obviously be superior because of the fact that you can locally inject it, and secondly, you can guarantee that you're going to get it all into the bloodstream. Orally, sometimes some of it gets destroyed by the digestive system. These are 2 good questions coming from the Dave Palumbo Experience app. If you guys haven't signed up for it, it's $29 a month. You can download it from your iTunes store or your Android store. And you get me basically as a coach in your back pocket. You get all my videos I've ever done, all my writings in one place, all my protocols, off-season, pre-contest, diets, drug cycles. I answer everyone's questions in an open forum. You see everyone's questions and everyone's answers. I actually also do a Q&A video. So it's not like, it's like a second Ask Dave you get every single week on the app. Plus, we put up a workout every single week. It's a great, great value. I know with Christmas coming up, a lot of people are looking for stocking stuffers to buy their significant others. It's a great, for $29 a month, you can't go wrong. It's a great little gift, and it's a tool that enables you to keep on learning. If you're a coach and you have to pay taxes on all the money you make, it's continuing education. It's tax deductible. So I want to thank everyone who is a member. We have a couple thousand members. I want to thank everyone for supporting the app.
Can taking a psyllium fiber product in the same shaker cup as whey protein isolate diminish protein absorption? Should they each be taken spaced apart?
No, fiber will not absorb like a water soluble like protein source like that. It's absolutely fine to mix them together. Personally, I don't do it because I think it makes the shake too thick, and it's almost like I just swig my fiber down. If I were to mix the fiber with the whey protein, it would almost be like too much, too goopy. But some people like that, especially people who are dieting. They like to sit there and eat it like a Jello. I guess if you mix vanilla, I don't know, you can make like a cherry vanilla. If you mix the cherry, the fruit punch fibrilize with the vanilla isolized, you can get like a cherry vanilla thing going on there. But that's actually how I originally formulated. I used to have cherry vanilla isolized, and I used to mix the two. But it is very thick. It won't affect absorbability, but it just might be hard to tolerate.
Question about squatting or building legs with tendonitis in both knees. The question is if you could develop big legs with squatting lighter weights but still taking to failure, or is doing a superset or giant sets help for the lighter weight instead of going heavy again due to his tendonitis? Do I have to go heavy, or can I go medium weight to failure but still build a good set of wheels?
Heavyweight builds muscle. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Full range motion. If you have tendonitis in both knees, it usually is a result of a biomechanical imbalance. In other words, very few people have injuries in both knees at the same time. So if you're getting like strains in your knees from doing squats or doing certain leg movements, it could be that your feet are biomechanically not aligned properly. If you have like flat feet, you don't have arches. Now you're pushing from too much on the inside of your foot as opposed to from the entire foot, a balanced foot. I always found that when my orthotics, which are custom inserts I wear in my shoes, and I have a lot of bodybuilders wearing them, when they break down, I tend to get knee pain. And that's because now the alignment of my feet are off because they're not being supported by the orthotic. So I have to, you're supposed to change them every 1.5 to 2 years. When I get new ones, all my knee pain goes away. So if you're having chronic knee pain and there's no explanation for it other than the doctor telling you it's tendonitis, you might want to go get a pair of custom orthotics made from your local podiatrist or chiropractor. Put them in your shoes. Give yourself a good couple months on them, and I bet you'll see that pain disappear.
I actually got a few questions relating to working around injuries or some sort of ailments. What is a good replacement for skull crushers? I've been doing it for a while, but now my elbows are on fire every time I hit them.
Yeah, I never really liked skull crushers. Some people can get away with doing them. To me, they never really worked my triceps. I just didn't feel it. I don't think that you really necessarily need to do a specific exercise to replace skull crushers, but I will tell you this personally. The more isolating the movement I found when I would train biceps, triceps, the better the development I got was. Because think about it. A lot of people do these skull crushers. They do close bench press, right, for hit triceps. But you're using a lot of pec when you do that too. Even with skull crushers, you're using some front delt, and so you're not really putting the main thrust on the tricep. I always felt like the other muscles doing way more work than the triceps did. When I started doing overhead cable, extensions overhead, when I started doing reverse grip pull downs with a cable handle, one arm at a time, I was getting mind-boggling pumps in my triceps and mind-boggling intensity in the triceps because I was isolating that muscle to only work, and I wasn't using the accessory and the accessory muscles in the area. And I noticed that my arms started to grow way better when I did that. And I learned that trick from Vince Taylor. Same thing with biceps. When you do cable curls or dumbbell curls, I like cables better because of the continuous tension. Better for me, especially if you have long arms, than doing barbell curls. Now, if you have short arms, it seems like the conventional skull crushers and bicep curls work really well. Ask Lee Priest; he loved them. Those were his favorite exercises. But guys with longer arms tend to do better with isolating movements like that because the compound movements like those skull crushers, like close bench press, like barbell curls, just don't work as well.